Welcome to the HJC Podcast, powered by HockeyJerseyConcepts.com. New episodes go live every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Good day, everybody. This is Steve here. Ryan couldn't make it in tonight. Bad snowstorm up in Toronto, free for some reason. So, we're covering. It is Anarchy 2.0. Woo! Thank you, TC, for that delay. Anyways, tonight we got some good stuff. We're going to go with logo changes, but instead of an improvement, we're going to talk about who has the downgrades. We're also going to have another one of Shawn's Black Jerseys of the Week, Baker Authentic, and Throwback Throwdown. So, let's introduce everybody here tonight. We have our man, Ben Schaefer. How you doing, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. I saw your Red Wings somehow decide they wanted to play and beat the Penguins the other night.
Yeah, that was a shock to everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're kind of like the high school couple that's on again and off again. So. But
sure, it's not going to end well, however it ends.
Yeah. All right. We also have our usual mainstay here, my main man, Shawn. Shawn, how's it up in Halifax?
It is April weather. I know it's March, but it is April weather. And other than that, the Jets are in a playoff spot, and that is all that matters in my mind.
Well, okay. Sounds good. Good to hear. Glad everything's going good with you. And finally, we have TC here. TC, I see you are rocking the Buff Slug sweater.
Oh, yeah. I was just milling around rural Georgia the other day and stopped by Salvation Army and saw a Buff Slug sweatshirt for $5, and that is a price and a face I could not walk away
from. All right. Good to hear.
I'm going to get the banjos going.
Deliverance. Alright, so as everyone knows, this is Anarchy, so no music, just going right into everything, and we're just going to have probably some disruptions because TC's like a caged animal who's ready to get out. So, okay.
I can't talk about hockey with anyone in Georgia. This is my only time.
Alright, guys. So, let's get to the first segment here. This segment is logo changes, good to bad. So, understandably what that means is that teams who have made their logo changes for the worse. We'll start with Shawn. Shawn, who were your two tonight?
The two that I have tonight are pretty simple. I'm going to go with like the worst of all time, that being when the Mighty Ducks became the Sucks. And I'm going to go with when the Kings dropped their Shield logo.
Ooh, interesting. So, any particular reasons as to why you chose those?
I'm not against the Mighty Ducks dropping their mightiness. I get it. They just need to know the team anymore. What I don't get is that they went with what has to be the gaudiest, ugliest script logo ever and used it as their logo. They came up with this really nice duckfoot logo. And you know what? There's a reason why the team still uses it. Now, I think we're 12 years on now since the change. It's a nice logo. The template it was on was fine for the time. It's a little too black for me right now, but, I like it. The problem is that...
Wait. Did you just say too black for you? What?
I did say too black. That jersey is too black in my mind.
Last time he said that, he was watching Roots.
Okay. Jesus.
Last time TC said that, Billy Brathwaite started one game for the Thrashers. That was it.
We're starting early, folks.
Early and often tonight on the HJC Podcast, you will feel a slight discomfort as we make jokes.
Okay.
As I was saying about the Anaheim Sucks, Yeah, there was no reason in my mind that they couldn't have used the duck logo, and for some reason the duck foot, but for some reason they felt the need to use their script as their logo. And as for the Kings, it's a total preference thing. The Shield logo I thought was a fantastic primary, fantastic shoulder patch too, but the Crown logo never did it for me on those jerseys as well as the Shield logo did. And we'll get into that Shield logo jersey later in the show.
Okay, sounds good. Ben, what were your two?
I think my top choice was, again, the Ducks, but the two I'm going to go with, my top choice is going to be the 2003 Phoenix Coyotes, when they went from the abstract logo to the just howling head, and then the 2011 LA Kings when they dropped the crown to this just boring generic shield they have now. I guess starting with Phoenix, they had something really unique. Hockey down south, sorry TC, but it doesn't go too well all that often, although, sorry Shawn, Vegas is proving that wrong. Yeah, they had something really unique going for them. I really liked how it was, based on something that had such a clear connection to Arizona. And what they have now, it looks like anyone could have designed it. It looks like just like every other generic logo. I mean,
looks
you
like
could
a
have...
high school logo.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say it. Looks like you could have just taken it from any high school. And then with the 2011 Kings, they didn't do a whole lot to this, except they put it on the most boring, generic, like a high school shield, added 2 letters, and then they took their old logo and then shrunk it down and put it in, the bottom part, so you could barely even see it. The crown is really intricate, so when you make it that small, you can hardly tell what it is. The shield is awful. It just looks like a home plate.
An elongated home plate.
Yeah, it's awful. And then I guess the font is okay, but when you're only using 2 letters, you really can't get it across. So those are my 2 picks.
All right. And TC, what were your picks?
My first pick was the move when the Capitals went from the Screeching Eagle to the Capitol Building logo.
I agree with you on that.
They had a beautiful jersey. I love the Columbia blue, and I think that actually, the eagle in that was a good-looking logo. I think, honestly, in my opinion, it's the best logo that the Capitals have had in their history. Their current logo, which is based on the original logo, is just a glorified word mark. It just doesn't do it for me. And then they moved to the Capitol Building logo, which I understand, your name is the Capitals, but it's just a little too ostentatious. It's clunky on the jersey with the cross stick and the stars and the puck at the bottom. And once again, it's very heavily constructed around the word mark, which I just don't think ever really looks good on a jersey unless you make it diagonal, in which case it's the only way a jersey should go. My second choice was when the Ottawa Senators moved from their profile logo to the head-on Senator. What really frustrates me about this is that they had another version of this logo on an alternate, and they said, hey, guys, we're going to rebrand ourselves. You know that logo that we got a ton of crap for about it looking so terrible? Let's make that our new primary and see how that goes. They had done a dry run with it. It worked terribly, and then they still went forward with it.
Yeah, and I agree. So, I would have to agree with you on both of those, just because I think that the Screaming Eagle was really cool, and I don't think it didn't age terribly. It could still be used, and I think it would still be fine. My 2 choices were when the Penguins went from the Skating Penguin to the RoboPen, just because it's not that the RoboPen itself was a bad logo, it's just that what came associated with it, and also the fact that the jerseys weren't as nice. When you look at that, you look at the RoboPen, you think of angles and just not what you would assume the Penguins would be. My other would be the Florida Panthers going from the Jumping Panther to the Shield. I always say because I think that it would have been a better idea to keep the Jumping Panther. It was something that was unique to them. And just the Jumping Panther, while it always did look unusual, they redid it as a secondary logo, and it looked really cool. Why didn't they just keep it there, and then they just made the Panther Shield as an alternate logo? So guys, any other thoughts?
I'll have to disagree on the Panthers logo there. I really think the Jumping Panther is weak. It really comes off as a high school logo to me. I really like the Shield. I think that was an upgrade for them. I know it really kind of looks... I don't think it's the strongest logo. It comes off a little bit too much as a European soccer club. I think they're really, right now, the only team in the NHL that does something like that, except for the LA Kings, which is just bland and awful. I think the Panthers, it's more vibrant, has something to it. I really like how they incorporate a word mark, not how teams just kind of slap it on out of laziness, but they really incorporated it into the Shield. I think that was an upgrade for Florida.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? TC, what do you have to say?
I would just like to bring up this one. I didn't know if it would count or not, but it was a very close third for me, which was Thrashers to the Winnipeg Jets. Huge downgrade in terms of a logo. You had that gorgeous bird with the stick sticking out of the badge because, that looks good. And now you've got some sort of multiple shades of gray with a maple leaf. Right, and just, it's hideous. And it's a Roundel logo, too. How unoriginal.
Well, you're wrong, but I'm going to let you be wrong. Because the Thrashers logo, beautiful thing, respect the dead, beautiful, beautiful thing, should still exist. And the Phoenix Coyotes logo should not exist, but Winnipeg exists in its current form. If I could give you that, TC, I would give you in a heartbeat, but I can't. And if I could put the Thrashers back, maybe we move Ottawa, I don't know, I'd give you that. But we can't.
This is coming from a guy who cheers for a team that only has diagonal letters on their jerseys.
What's a logo on a jersey? We tried that once. Tell you what. That looks fucking stupid.
All right.
It had little pointy things going up, and then we had this stupid metallic-looking industrial badge on the shoulders. We don't talk about that no more.
I feel like Phil Esposito was walking around the Rangers ownership office in the 70s, and he was like, we need to redesign the jerseys. And one of the guys was like, well, why don't we put a logo on it? Glad I thought of it. Go design something. And then they show him, and it's like, what a stupid idea there, Clyde.
All right. Now it's time for everybody's favorite time of the week. It's Shawn's Black Jersey of the Week. I feel like we need music, but we don't have any, so do. Shawn's Black Jersey of the Week.
Terrible taste.
I just want to go off for a second on something that's really been bothering me the past week in the concept world, and has been for some time. And it has to do with a certain design trend that when I was in high school was starting to get dated, okay? Chest stripes are an interesting thing. They can be useful when you want to add a certain vintage quality to a jersey. Some concepts use this well. Go to yesterday's post. You'll see this wonderful concept, Team Saskatchewan, where there is a wheat-style chest stripe that is within the jersey that you can only see probably from certain angles on the ice. But my goodness, the number of chest stripe concepts I see that are lazy, uninspired schlock. Take, as TC mentioned, the Roundel logo is by far the worst logo in hockey. This is not baseball. You don't need a Roundel logo. But in the minds of some people, you take any team, put a Northwestern striping pattern on it, mix the color scheme up a little bit, slap a Roundel logo onto that jersey, put a chest stripe on it, and you're expected to eat that up. In the same way, you should eat up a Austin Matthews, Alexander Barkov, fake half and half jersey, so you'll know what source this is coming from if they think that's a great idea. The worst examples of this I can think of are people who feel the need to put the Rangers in red. and then also make it a chest stripe jersey.
Oh, I hate that so much.
So here's my challenge to you, artists, because we need concepts. I want you to come up with the most unique way to use a chest stripe. I want you to do what Pittsburgh did in 1995 with their alternate. I want you to reinvent the chest stripe. I want you to prove to me that this design trend is not dead, that it did not die when everybody decided that every jersey needed to be a Habs jersey or a 2009 Chicago Blackhawks jersey. Because frankly, I've seen enough of those. I've seen them for every team, and I can picture the Walmart clearance shirts that you would see that type of design on. And now for my black jersey of the week.
Yeah, I was about to say. You want to get to the segment, Shawn?
Oh, we were rolling? Oh.
Yeah, we were rolling.
Fuck!
Red means on, Shawn. Red light means on.
Oh, we're rolling?
What do you mean you want me to play it out?
Scotch.
He was thrown off by the fact that there was no music.
Black jersey of the week is the 1998-2002 LA Kings away. The Shield logo, the original introduction of the form blue, black, silver, and white color scheme. I will tell you why I like this jersey. Picture this. You had years of the Chevy logo mixed with a uninspired black, gray, and white color scheme that while the team was very successful and had Wayne Gretzky on it, the jerseys themselves, while they've aged quite nicely, were never anything particularly spectacular. Come 1998, the team's terrible. So what do? You bring back the one thing LA Kings fans have been asking for the entire time the team has existed. Just leave the damn Ford blue on the jerseys. And they bring it back. They keep the black because the Kings look nice in black. I'll fully admit it. The team brings in this really nice metallic silver, and they bring in this gorgeous detailed logo, the Shield logo, where they put sunglasses on a lion, for goodness sakes. Go look at the logo. It's an old English-style lion prowling like this with the arms and all that, which you can't see unless you have the special video podcast.
I will say the technical term is lion rampant.
Well, the lion rampant has some cool shades there.
Ah, bruh, sweet.
So, on top of that, it's one of the few jerseys that was able to do script on the hem. And there have been a few teams that have attempted that. But in the same way that the Thrashers have cornered the market...
I'm going to stop you right there. You ever say the team can pull off script on the jersey again, I'm going to smack you through this.
I'll tell you it again. The LA Kings, from 1998 until 2012, used the script on the hem properly, and they're the only team that could do it.
That's what you get.
Slappy.
All right. So, I'll start with you, Ben. You for or against this?
I guess I'd have to say I'm for it. I guess I can't mount a case against it. I will say I think the worst part about this is the script on the hem. I do like script on jerseys. I think it's totally underutilized, but it is completely overutilized on the hem. I have not seen it done successfully, and I don't think I ever will. Other things I don't like about it, I don't think the purple socks work. I think there should be black socks. I think they should really go with all-out black to sell this look. I think not really sure how I feel about the silver. What I do like, I really like the logo. I like how they kind of went with British royalty, and then kind of I don't know, blended it with modern ideas. Lion's great. The King logo is great. They have the crown on the shoulders, which looks great. They went back to the purple. I think the Kings have always looked better in purple, so I'd say overall positive, but I think there's lots of things that this jersey could do to improve.
Okay, TC, for or against?
I am for this jersey. I don't think it's the best iteration. I think when in 2002, they pretty much fixed everything that was wrong with it. They swapped the logos, and they switched the socks so that black was on black, like Ben was saying. But all in all, even in this iteration, I really like it. I like the Shield logo. It's a lot better than the current batting plate logo. I'm not a fan of the Los Angeles in the hem stripe. I agree with you, Steve. No team can really pull that off. It's just not a good look. But I think what really clinches it for me is the yoke striping that matches the striping on the arms. That's a really nice touch, and I think it's something that I would like to see in jerseys more. But I think they pull it off really well here. And the return of purple to the color scheme.
All right, I'll be honest. I'm indifferent on this. I want to hate this, and there's a few things I can hate about it, but it's not like...
This segment sucks. You guys are supposed to be ripping me a new one.
Well, you chose a jersey that was really weak to be ripped on. Do you want to choose another one?
No.
Because we literally just spent 5 minutes with it.
Oh, we're saving the good ones for, when people stop submitting concepts. Well, no, actually, people start... You submit concepts, and I'll defend the Mooterus, okay? All right, listeners? You have to submit concepts.
What is this, a hostage situation now?
No, it's a promotion.
It's called blackmail.
No, it's called a promotion. It's called a request. We need concepts to
being
review.
a used car salesman.
We get it up to 4 a post. We double what we're doing this week. So 4 a post, 4 contests a post, and I will defend the Mooterus.
Since we couldn't rip on his jersey choice, can we just rip on Shawn as a person?
No. I have friends for that.
No, we're not going that anarchic.
I have friends in Halifax for that who will be very jealous if they find out that I go on a podcast with 3 Americans and have them rip on me.
Okay, so I will do the best to destroy this jersey. How does that sound?
Do it.
Alright. First off, I agree. Those jerseys were terrible. The original Wayne Gretzky ones with the Chevy logo, they were very uninspiring. However, when they said, let's bring back purple, yeah! All of a
Just
sudden...
like to correct you, it's not purple, it's form blue.
You know what? You shut up. It's not blue, it's purple.
The moderator would like to
purple
remind...
till the day I die.
The moderator would like to remind everyone that the color is purple. And Steve's word is form blue.
Okay, anyways. I absolutely hate the script on the hem. There's multiple reasons. There's players that tuck their jerseys, so then the point of it goes away. It just looks like a bunch of letters randomly sprawled on there. Also, it's not like... It would be nice if it was a stripe, and it was in the stripe. I guess it could work a little bit better, or something along the lines, but it's really at the smack dab of the bottom of it. And also, you have the really, really thick yoke piping. It's almost ridiculous how thick that is. And then the silver the silver tries to rope it around just to bring it all together, but the silver just doesn't do it justice like white would. But other than that, that's as best as I can go, guys.
Well, if Ryan could make it in, I'm sure he'd talk about how it's not traditional enough and how they should make the jerseys blue and white for the Kings. And the logo's all wrong. And
it should be a leaf.
And it should be a leaf on the front.
Be a leaf there.
And where's Jeffries?
Alright, that one was a train wreck. So, alright, let's go to fake or authentic here.
Fake or authentic?
So we're going to do fake or authentic now, and then do throwback throwdown finally.
We're not
Okay.
gonna do the mailbag?
Say again?
Not doing the mailbag this week?
We don't have access to the mailbag.
I do.
What? Okay. So anyways, I guess we are going to do the mailbag eventually. So, anyways, getting on to it. Fake or authentic, guys. We've already seen the Rangers, Sabres, and Sounders alternate jerseys for next season, i.e. the Winter Classic and Centennial Classic.
Authentic.
John.
Authentic for sure. The Sens have already basically had that jersey as an alternate this year. The Rangers and Sabres have brought them indoors already, and I can guarantee you we will also see the St. Louis Blues bring their alternate, or their Winter Classic as an alternate from the 2017 season, because that looked like what they were going to do.
Okay, Ben?
I'm going to have to do this one on a team-by-team basis. For the Rangers, this is absolutely authentic. This was well-received. Everyone likes it. There's really no reason to think that they're going to go, out of house to design something else at this point. For the Sabres, I'm going to have to say fake, because it's really rare that a white jersey ends up becoming the alternate. I think Buffalo is going to go with probably another blue jersey, maybe yellow. We'll have to see, but I think we've seen the end of the Winter Classic jersey. For the Senators, I'm going to say fake, but I'm really not sure about this one. I think the Senators are in the midst of a total rebrand. I don't know what they're going to do. Probably something their fans don't like, but hopefully...
What fans?
Well, it's a Jets' opinion, which may or may not reflect the hockey community at large, but I think we're going to see the return of the barber pole striping pattern. I think management has finally figured out what their fans like. Not sure what they're going to do in terms of an alternate. Maybe they'll do the Centurion head logo. I know management in the past has been really unsure of whether the O logo is strong enough to stand on its own, so we'll have to see how they handle that. So I guess I'll just say fake for the Senators, but again, really not sure.
TC.
Well, since we're going on a team-by-team basis, I'm going to have to say Rangers, completely authentic. I think it's a great-looking jersey, and they've already used it as an alternate, so I think they'll just carry through. Buffalo, I'm going to say fake, because not only what Ben said about the white jersey, but Buffalo loves to shit the bed with their alternates, come out with something atrocious. And Senators, I think, is fake too, because once again, it's a team that loves to make awful jersey designs, and I think they're not going to miss a chance to make something terrible.
See. Okay. Well, I'd have to say authentic for the Rangers. Buffalo, I'm going to go with fake to the point that they're not going to do a white. They're not going to do
Turd Burger 2.0.
No. God's sakes, no.
This time it's personal. A black turd burger. That's what Sabres fans have always wanted.
Oh, good Lord. To just ruin our childhood right now.
That idea came to Shawn in a wet dream.
Sorry, wouldn't.
Ruin my childhood.
I told you that in confidence.
Alright, and I would say the Senators, they're just going to rebrand. So, alright, fake or authentic, I would still play 5 minutes in an actual NHL game, even if I was told the exact moment when I would break my leg in that game. Let's go with Ben.
Fake. I mean, I would love to play in an NHL game, but I like my legs. I don't think I can give those up.
What, 5 minutes of glory, man?
How much glory can you accomplish in 5 minutes? Is this like Game 6 Stanley Cup Finals, or is this like Game 26 for the Red Wings en route to like finishing 6th from the bottom in the NHL?
6 from the bottom. That's pretty ambitious for a Red Wings fan.
Alright, TC?
100% authentic. You know, bones heal. I might have to walk with a cane for the rest of my life, but you know what? People say, hey, how'd you break that leg? Well, I'll tell you, mysterious stranger who walked up to a man with a cane on the street, I played in the NHL. You get to carry that with you for the rest of your life. I would ask the man who crippled me if I could have his stick and have that stick made into a cane that I could walk with, just to complete that story.
That would be badass.
Yeah, it would.
All right, Shawn.
Only if I could play for the Atlanta Thrashers.
Oh my... No.
Oh.
What, not even the Jets?
Shawn.
No, because I'll let you in a little secret. I am not a particularly great hockey player. So I don't want to hurt any team that really matters. So, I mean, maybe I'd want to play for, like, Edmonton.
Oh, you bitch. You started out so strong, and then you just used it to throw so much shade on the Thrashers.
I love the Thrashers. I do. They're the lovable losers. They're like the Cleveland Browns, except that the Cleveland Browns stayed dead.
Except the Cleveland Browns didn't have multiple Hall of Famers on the team at the same time.
You're right, because the Cleveland Browns kept their Hall of Famers.
Or gave up the best coach in all of football when they just started getting good.
It's just in. Angelo Esposito has been traded for Marian Hossa. And Eric Christensen. And a bag of pucks.
Shawn, you would trade anything for a bag of pucks.
Well, I don't need to trade for the bag of pucks. My bag of pucks is right here.
All right.
Which one you got for us today?
Not doing Jets' rubbers tonight.
But that's my favorite. Maybe we will, maybe we won't segment.
Okay.
Tonight's puck is a Manitoba Moose IHL puck.
Oh, Shawn, are you saying for once you have a used rubber in your room?
And here we go.
Yes. I have several used rubbers in my room. They're all hockey pucks.
Anyways, on my end, I'd have to say 100% authentic. 5 minutes just to say that I was in an NHL game. I mean, heck yeah, man. A broken leg heals, but being in an NHL game, that's probably, once in your life? So.
Well, for some people it's 1,000 times, but, you know.
Yeah, well, they're talented. Athletically, that is.
I was going to say. It's like, well.
No, we enjoy your special talents, like building gingerbread Zambonis there.
Live on the podcast.
The jabroni with the Zambonis.
The jabroni with the Zambroni. That would have been a great title for that episode, but.
Oh, what if... Okay, and finally, fake or authentic, the Golden Knights will win their first-round playoff series.
I'll take my bias out of this because, again, I hate the Golden Knights and everything they stand for. But I am going to say fake for the simple reason that they're going to have to play a tough team. They're going to play an experienced team in St. Louis, Anaheim, LA, and Colorado if they do make the playoffs. That's going to be a difficult series because watching those two teams play a couple games back-to-back with each other, it'll be a dogfight. So no matter what, even if Vegas does get through, I think that this isn't their year. Because of and if it was the normal playoff, even if it was the normal playoff 1-8 thing that we're used to, I still don't see it again because the West is pretty deep this year.
All right, TC.
I'm gonna go fake just out of spite because I don't want the Golden Knights to do in their first season what the Thrashers could never do in their entire franchise history. But on a more real note, yeah, this team has been doing great playing together, but I think when the playoffs form, you're going to want a team that's been playing with each other for years, and the Golden Knights just don't have that kind of chemistry.
All right, Ben?
I'm going to say authentic. I think that they're going to win the Pacific, and I think that they'll get a wild card team in the first round. They've been playing really strong all year. I don't think there's any reason that that's going to go away in the playoffs. I think they can at least get through the wild card team. Not sure about the second round because, as Shawn said, the West is so deep. But I think the Vegas Golden Knights will make history and get through at least one round.
All right, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, Ben. I think they will end up getting the wild card, and they'll beat the wild card. I'm going to say 6 games at earliest. And then by the time they're done finished with them, they're going to play someone that's really good and then get smacked in 5 or 6 games.
So I feel like it's worth bringing up who, if the playoffs started today, Vegas would play Colorado. So 6-game Vegas win is completely unreasonable. Then they'd have to go on to play the winner of LA San Jose, and both of those teams, I think, could sweep Vegas.
Oh.
Just in how tight their cores are at the core, like the players they've had for multiple years. LA still has a lot of that Stanley Cup in them, and San Jose still not only has the Stanley Cup in them, but they have a lot more young players that they didn't have in 2016. They're refreshed, and San Jose has, of the top three Pacific teams, by far the best goaltending in Martin Jones. So I will say, Ben, that if it is Colorado, you might be onto something, and you're only confirmed by the top other two. And then let's say Anaheim gets in. John Gibson is also a fantastic goaltender. So we'll see.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was fake or authentic. Alright, so we're going to go to Throwback Throwdown, folks. Throwback Throwdown, we are looking at 2 bad logo change jerseys today. It's going to be Ottawa 2007 Edge jersey. That fun one. And the New York Islanders 1995 jersey. So, we're talking sets here. So, let's start with, let's see here. So I gotta pull them up. Sorry guys. I'm unprepared for this one.
I'll get my thoughts on the Ottawa jersey, because those are jerseys that existed for most of my life.
That's a sad thing.
It really is. These, I think, of the 3 teams that unveiled their that same design, they had the best at the time, but it lasted way too long. In 2007, 2008, it was nice to see Ottawa have a coherent set. The logo looked, for the time, decent. The rounded numbers were a nice touch. And I'd say up until about 2013, 2014, they were up there as some of the better Ottawa Senators jerseys that they've ever worn. And it was nice to see the team fully adopt red as their primary dark color. The problem was that they hung around way too long. That template should have been dumped as soon as that alternate was unveiled. So, yeah, I don't think that these are particularly bad jerseys. I just think they stuck around way too long.
I'd agree. All right, and for the Islanders, it's the Fisherman.
Oh, boy.
1995 Fisherman jersey.
You know, I think that actually it's the second best look the Islanders have ever had. The best being the classic look that they have now and they had up until then. The reason being is because I like the addition of teal to the color scheme. The logo, it's tough to say, because the darker orange and navy Islanders classic logo, I think, actually looked terrible on most of those jerseys. And I think that this Fisherman jerseys were better than what they replaced them with in the pre-Edge era. So, I mean, they're incredibly dated. The teal is not an Islanders color anymore, and it wasn't for a very long time. And
you might as well just say this jersey screams 1990s.
It screams 1995 to 1997, and that was the perfect era for them to be worn, and worn occasionally as a throwback. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. TC.
I'll start out with Ottawa. These are the least offensive jerseys that the Senators have ever worn. They contain red, white, and black. They're a nice cookie cutter jersey. I can't get excited about this jersey. Nothing about it looks especially terrible to me, but nothing about it looks good. The weird arm situation where it's almost similar to Philadelphia's, but a reversal where it swoops up to the underarm, and then the white or red stripe, depending on the jersey, that goes to the side panels that don't go all the way down, but also crowd the numbers. It's just not a good look to me. For the Islanders, I think this jersey gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I love the Fisherman. I have a white Fisherman. I think it's perfect for the time period that it was worn in. The 90s are the only time you could get away with a design like this. But overall, even the striping pattern, it's a wave, gives the idea of the sea. They're the Islanders. It looks interesting. It's an interesting jersey to look at. My only real problem with it is the atrocious treatment that the name and numbers on the back got. That's it. Other than that, I have no problem with these jerseys.
All right, and Ben?
I'll start with Ottawa, too. These are templates that never should have seen the light of day. It really suffers from what I call the no-show zone, so a lot of the excitement on this jersey you can't even see half the time anyway. I don't know what Ottawa likes with this swooping pattern, but it really doesn't mean anything, and it just kind of comes off as blobs of color. I think the one redeeming quality of this is the logo. I love this version of Ottawa's logo. I think it's better than the side-facing logo, to be honest. I could see... I don't know what face TC is making, but those of you who are subscribed to the special video podcast can...
This is an unpopular opinion on HJC's podcast.
Yeah.
Save those for me.
Yeah, you're stealing Shawn's thunder.
Well, I will keep my opinion and say good logo, bad jerseys. Okay, moving on to the Islanders. Okay logo, horrible jersey, just horrendous. The yoke is awful. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go with any kind of stitching. It just looks like a 5-year-old took a crayon to it. I mean, the hem makes a little more sense because of the waves, but it really looks like no one put it on, or someone put it on with no thought. The logo is okay. It's a word mark and then lots of hockey imagery. The Fisherman does look kind of cool by himself. But considering the Islanders won, a bunch of Stanley Cups in a row in such classic uniforms, it really, really did not make any sense to go to this at all.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I'd have to say that the Senators have hands down the worst jersey currently, and it's all because of 2007. That is just a cookie cutter template that they thought that they could make work, and they were constantly in denial about it. They were like someone with a hoarding problem. They know it's a problem, but they don't want to admit that it's a problem. They brush it off as a problem, and finally now I think they're starting to come around to realizing it's a problem. And as for the Fisherman, I love the Fisherman. I love the logo. I kind of is a downgrade from what they did. It's perfect for the time, but it's not a feasible jersey today. So that's the only thing. It's stuck in a time period. It's not timeless like what the Islanders wear now. So, Jets, who do you give it to?
Hands down, it has to go to the Islanders because, as I said in my post on Monday, they took a risk. The Senators, on the other hand, did not take a risk.
Okay. TC?
Islanders, 100%. I love the fish stick. I hate every jersey that Ottawa was ever worn except for their throwbacks. I have a love affair with the Fisherman, which kills me on the inside to say as a Rangers fan. But it's just a much better jersey than the Ottawa.
All right, and Ben.
I'm going to have to go with the Senators here. Both look like a 5-year-old took a crayon to it, but the Senators is much more restrained, so I'm going to have to stick with them.
Okay.
This is the Anarchy Podcast. We have no room for restraint.
A crayon?
That's that northeastern accent.
A crayon?
I dealt with that.
It's a crayon.
It's a
No,
crayon.
do you say Cali?
Le crayon. It's a le crayon.
Okay, it's time for accents of the regions of North America.
Today we're doing Moncton, New Brunswick. All right, I think it's time for the HJC Mailbag.
Mailbag.
Mailbag. All right, and this first question I have here comes from I can't read the name on it, and it says, "Hi HJC, really like Monday's writer. My question to you is, what are your thoughts on the Buffaslug, and why is Jets always right about it?" Well, thanks, unnamed person who wrote that question, and I have to. I will say that I am right about the Buffaslug because everybody knows I'm right about the Buffaslug. It's a beautiful look.
Okay, that was a crock of shit. So, why don't you read us a real question?
This next question comes from Frederick from Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa?
In Oregon. Tuscaloosa, Oregon. And it says, this question's for the American writers here. Who would you rather have an NHL team, Milwaukee or Houston?
Just a gut instinct. I would say.
I'm gonna go.
No. Okay, just a gut instinct. I'm gonna go with Houston. It's actually the 4th largest city in the United States, so just based on that alone, that gives me some hope that it would be better. I don't think Milwaukee is big enough to host an NHL city. I think it's good for the AHL. I think Houston, although Houston is kind of encroaching on the Dallas market, so from a financial standpoint, this would be a lot more interesting, but I don't know. Maybe the other writers have opinions on which they would prefer, financials aside.
Financials aside, I would go Milwaukee. Yes, Houston is the 4th largest city. I've spent quite a lot of time in Houston, and I can say I really don't think they give a shit about hockey. I think people in Milwaukee will care a lot more than people in Houston. Conversely, if you're looking for like an LA type thing where it's just a place for rich people to go and spend some time, yeah, it'd be fine for that. But if you're looking for a market that's actually going to care about hockey, Milwaukee's the place.
All right. I'd have to say Milwaukee as well. I mean, they're the kind of place that actually takes care of their people, and instead of forcing the Admirals this year to move away, they actually redid the Mecca in Milwaukee just so they could put them there instead of having them relocate for a year before the new arena's built. So, I kind of have to agree with TC. Like, Texas is big and all, but Texas is football first and football second.
High school football first, then college, then professional.
Yeah, then professional. Then it's
Arena.
between baseball and hockey.
No, it's rodeo. It's rodeo before it's baseball and hockey.
Okay,
Then
rodeo,
slapjack cooking.
then baseball and hockey. Well, in Houston, they're riding the baseball wave, so also put in.
Wait a minute, where's queer beating? That's the state sport.
Be careful. All right, that does not reflect our views here on HJC, and yet he's making fun of Texas. So, state of Texas, prepare to sue us at HJC.
They won't sue us; they'll just shoot us.
Tell you what.
What? Them damn hockey boys out here wearing knives on their feet, they just brought knives to a gunfight.
You know what's sad, though, is that they had the Houston Aeros.
Yeah, but think about it. There is a reason why the Houston Aeros relocated in the 70s and relocated in the 2010s. But the Milwaukee Admirals, have been a constant hockey market since the 70s. They have existed in every top major minor league thing. And, it's very similar to San Diego in that they may never be an NHL city, but they are a hockey city.
Well, San Diego doesn't really have a choice at this point. All their teams have left for LA.
You're forgetting about their best team.
The Padres?
The Padres.
The Padres.
The Padres.
Let's throw you guys a bone. You can keep your shitty baseball team. Just revert the color scheme back to brown to reflect your play.
Hey. All right, one last question, and it is from a Kyle in Mount Uniacke, Nova Scotia. And Kyle asks, who is your team's favorite backup goalie?
Ooh. That's a difficult one for me. Because that goes
That's so many.
That goes by years. You got many years.
I'll throw mine out here. For the Winnipeg Jets, the favorite backup goalie that they had was their first in Chris Mason. I felt like he was a solid veteran presence for a young Andre Pavlik to learn under. And on top of that, it was one of the few times that the tandem goalie system probably could have worked better than it should have.
Here's a question. For me, were they only ever a backup, or could they promote to starter?
If they were promoted to starter, it was very briefly, so you can do Brent Johnson.
Okay. Just making sure. So, I was going to say, you can move on. I'm still thinking.
I'll come in. I'll do two teams. I'll do the Atlanta Thrashers. Our favorite backup goalie, Johan Goose Hedberg. People loved him in Atlanta. He was the only person that consistently was cheered for. Even Ilya Kovalchuk, Marian Hossa, people would boo them for time to time. Anytime you heard that he was coming out, the entire arena, all 14 people in it, would yell, "Moose!" People loved him.
But the Thrashers had every goalie as their backup goalie, as everyone who watched them will remember.
Mason.
It was a backup.
Trip there. Ben?
They had Kari Lettinen. Hold up, I'm not finished.
I know you're not.
I said I would do two teams.
Yeah, Dan Blackburn. Okay, next.
Ranger, you shut your whore mouth. I'm going to have to go with Antti Raanta.
Annie Rader.
Antti Raanta. People really liked him. He fit in well, and he did a hell of a job. Much better job than Georgiev is doing. And who's that other guy? His name escapes me.
Don't do this, man.
Who's our current backup?
Don't do this. We miss him every day.
Passarelli?
Steve Passmore.
Pasadena? Pavlik! That's it! Pavlik! Andrej Pavlik! Who did he play for again?
Winnipeg's greatest goaltender, and you will take that back.
As I recall, he was a backup in Atlanta, too. How bad is your team where Atlanta's backup is your starter?
as good as two playoff appearances in 8 years. Ben, the Red Wings had a lot of great goaltenders. Would you have a favorite backup?
It's hard to pick a backup for me because the backup typically ends up becoming the starter at some point in their career. Jimmy Howard was the backup for a while. Peter Mrazek was the backup for a while. Hasek and Osgood backed up each other at one point. Legacy became the starter. There's really only two that come to mind. The backup right now is Jared Perreault, who won the Calder Cup with Grand Rapids in the AHL. And the only other one I can think of is Joey McDonald.
Ooh, product of Nova Scotia right there.
Yeah.
Local Warrior. You don't count Manny Legacy.
Manny Legacy was the starter at one point.
All right, that's fair.
Or left in free, somehow.
You know what? I got to throw my favorite Toronto backup in here because Toronto has had so many backups over the years. It's not even funny. And it's the current one. Curtis McElhaney, Captain Mac. This is the best hockey he's played in his career, by far. If I had to throw a second bet to it, I'll throw some love to Tom Barrasso. Even though in the end of his career, he kind of played for so many teams, it wasn't even funny. And I think Ron Tugnut played for every NHL team at least twice. So
yeah, he was on the Penguins for how many years?
I don't even think he was on there for a full year. It might have been 2.
I remember just him having a really good game one day, and everybody was just talking about him as a kid. I remember that, and then watching again, I'm like, dude, he sucks.
He was, I remember him most as Marty Turco's backup in Dallas. And prior to that, he was Columbus's expansion goalie. Columbus is a team that has had a lot of interesting backups. You had Freddie Brathwaite, Pascal Leclerc, Martin.
All right, I figured mine out.
What's that?
I'm between Johnson, or just because 6'5" guy a goalie who could knock you out with one punch. Or Tomas Volkun.
Those are 2 solid picks. I'd actually go with Oban, just because he was the backup there for multiple years. And Ken Reagan.
Reagan, he's a handy guy. Like, he worked his way as a backup, then he was a starter for a few years, and then he just got pushed away by younger talent. But I don't know. Brett Johnson, though,
he almost overtook Fleury for a couple of years there.
The one season, he almost overtook him if he hadn't gotten injured.
That was 11-12, I think.
Yeah, Fleury got hurt, like, at the beginning of the season. He just wasn't himself. Like, they were trying to rush him back. So, but he held in there. But, of course, we all know how that ended up going. But I'd have to say him or Tomas Volkun, because Volkun ended up being, like, a decent backup goalie. And he even ended up getting some starts in the playoffs. But it was that thing where we didn't have someone that could go all the way through the playoffs that year, and, Tomas and Fleury, they were just both exhausted. So, that's who my picks are. But
and that's the mailbag.
That's mailbag!
That's the mailbag.
Okay.
Mailbag.
So, I guess we also have to go towards, now that that's being the end, we have to do the usuals. So, that being that, don't forget, we have the color swatch comp going on still. We also have the shirts and stickers for sale. So, I have no new designs yet coming out. As always, feel free to throw some out. Jets.
Nordiques.
We've been over this.
You're lazy.
Publicly released turd burger.
No,
that takes away from the specialness of
Oh,
it.
shoot. We don't have a winner for that.
tell you what, everybody.
Read the post. It'll be, you know what, we'll say this now, and Ryan will probably put in the post, if you might be the winner of a turd burger. We forgot to mention that the HJC sticker giveaway, so you know how it works, is that some point this week, there will be a tweet on our Twitter account, @HockeyJC, that will say, retweet this for a chance to win a free HJC sticker. There have been weeks where only one person has retweeted it. Don't like it. Don't favorite it. Don't reply to it unless you've retweeted it. You have to retweet it to be entered. So you can get a free HJC sticker just for retweeting. We don't have a winner in this podcast.
And take to a fact that this is a specially printed one. This is the Buffalo's Turd Burger. This was for writers exclusive only after TC and I's bet agreement, where the Penguins blew it. But
I think it's on the back of at least half the writers' laptops right now. Like, it's not even funny.
But just to let you guys know that there will no longer be any printed, so that one getting sent out around, if you want it, you gotta retweet for it, because you're not gonna get it anywhere. So, but other than that, I'm surprised that Jets or Ben or TC hasn't said any crazy teams for the minor league series.
You did the Thoroughblades.
Yeah. You did the Thoroughblades. Haven't you done the Hitman?
Yeah, he did some of the better ones.
Did the Moose. Did the Malpines.
The Malpines.
Your Malpines.
Malpines.
I had to suggest one would be to somehow do the Lewiston Maniacs face jersey, the gray alternate that they had for a few seasons.
Ooh.
And just do a cartoon thing of like one of the writers' faces and like randomize it each time so you don't know which writer's cartoon face you're getting on the front of it. Like,
if I could do that, I would do that.
Oh, yuck.
Ooh.
I got chance.
I know which one I want to see.
What?
Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. That's a beautiful jersey.
There was a lot of southern words in there, and I understood none of them.
A dog is a four-legged furry creature. Rail yard. Well, let's break it down even further. Rail is a metal pole type thing. It's put on trains. Yard is a general area. Rail yard together, general area associated with train. Roanoke is an area.
I just love what you say. Oh, Roanoke Rail Down. Tell you what, there, Roanoke Rail Down.
Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Any
of your suggestions?
Oh, me?
Yeah, any suggestions for you?
What about the NCAA?
See,
Can we do that legally?
That I'm actively staying away from. So, I'd love to do the NCAA, but like I said, that's where we're crossing hairy waters. So, I mean, I've danced enough waters with the NHL and the minor league, so the last people that I want to take off is this actual Division I college who just file us into oblivion.
You don't fuck with them.
No, you don't.
Do if you're in Canada.
Canada's even worse.
Don't take off rail sports. Damn it, TC. We walk around tomorrow looking for... God damn it. We need an official HJC Snapchat. Tell us in the comments if you want an official HJC Snapchat.
Yep. Okay, and you do that, and that being said, final remarks, everybody. Let's start with Jets. Final remarks.
My final remarks for the show are suck it Habs fans, suck it Sens fans, suck it Oilers fans, suck it Flames fans. None of your teams were good enough. Winnipeg is in the playoffs, and they're going far this year. And even if they don't win this year, this is just the beginning. Oh, and have a good week.
All right, Ben.
I'm going to say go Red Wings, go all the way to the draft lottery.
All in for Dolly.
All right. TC?
Well, this podcast has been fine and dandy like sour candy. Howard Stern's penis, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Okay. Well, that was the podcast, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We'll talk to you guys next week. If you want
to destroy my sweater,
oh, this thread as I walk away. As I walk away!